Hey YouTube, here's an interesting one, which I basically know absolutely nothing about. I got them mixed up. This is a reverend, and I think I was getting reverend mixed up with revelation, because they've sort of got a slightly similar type of vibe. This is actually lent to me by the same guy who lent me the Yamaha Rev Star last week, and it kind of is not miles away from, you know, visually being the same ballpark as the Rev Star as well. That sort of 70s hot rod or something look about it. And this is a superb glitter purple colour. This is a very similar colour to my Vantage Avenger, which I can't actually find. It's like, that's when you know you've got too many guitars, when you know it's there. And the thing is that the Avenger is this colour, so it should stick out like a sore thumb, and I don't know. I didn't spend that long looking for it. It's there. I know it's there. I've obviously put it in the wrong. I put it in a. I've decided that it was worthy of going into a hard case, so it's probably one of the hard cases rather than one of the gig bags. So Reverend are not Revelation. They are different, although they've got a sort of similar vibe. I think Revelation are sort of generally a sort of cheaper brand than Reverend. This is a. Oh, where's that bit of paper? I wrote some stuff down. My computer's not working just now, so well, that computer's not working. Reeves Gabrels, who's apparently the guitarist in The Cure and with David Bowie. It's like The Cure are sort of a band that I don't really know anything about. I have seen the occasional bit. I do like them. One of my favourite ever YouTube interviews was I think they were getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something like that, and you're just sort of MTV. Really, you know, jumpy girl interviewing him, going up to, you know, the Cure, is it Robert Smith, are standing there, and she's up here. So are you as excited as I am about you getting into the Classic Hall of Fame? And he just goes, evidently not. It's like, brilliant. A fantastically dry humour. So I do like. I like the guy. Whether I have heard some of the music, and I just can't. It's just not my era. So this guitar is set neck, kind of like a Yamaha Rev Star. It's got a single pickup which is called a rail hammer, which, as you can see, it's quite cool. It's got like 3 sets of pole pieces for the thin strings. I can get this angle right. I'm a bit bright today. And then sort of 2 rails for the thick strings. So a bit interesting. Wilkinson bridge. It's got locking tuners. Oh, it's actually even hand. Oh, I don't know. I doubt it's hand signed, but it looks like it's signed in the back of the headstock, and it's a limited number. I looked this up on the website, and purple doesn't seem to be an option, so this might be an even more limited special number. Number 30821. That's it. Designed and set up by Reverend Guitars USA, proudly crafted by Mir Music Korea. So there we go. So it's Korean with American setup. It's also got a bass roll-off switch, which I've not even tried yet. I've honestly not even plugged this in, but I tuned it. So I'd imagine it's going to want a bit of distortion because it's a single humbucker. I kind of like single humbucker. It's really quite a strange. The whole concept of that. It's like normally when you think of a single pickup, a single humbucker guitar. It's just to bring this out. You think of something like this, you know, it's like pure da-da. I'm playing a lightning bolt and I only play lead. That's why I've got a single pickup. Whereas this is a little bit more. It's sort of a more grown-up looky thing type guitar, and then they've just put one single pickup in it and painted it glitter purple to make it totally not a grown-up guitar, or not grown-up's not the right word, but you know what I mean. It's sort of classy, and I don't want to say silly. Having one pickup silly, but. Not in an offensive way. it's a bit crazy and a bit quirky and out there. Probably suits The Cure actually, and probably suits actually. I can see somebody playing with David Bowie playing a guitar like this actually, very much so. So there we go. Just hitting my wee Laney VC15 in that cabinet, no pedals on. So that'll be the tone control. What's more interesting, what is a bass roll-off? And am I going to go into this guitar, measure what it is and see what it is, and then copy it in one of mine? Alright, okay. So if you turn both of these off, do you end up with no sounds? Pretty much, yeah. So it's like, you imagine the two tone controls, if you imagine your frequency thing, so the lower frequency would be this hand. So you get like your frequencies and they're cutting in like this, and you can slide these in like this, until you end up with nothing. So it's like you can either take away all the bass, all the treble, variable obviously, but if you've got them both on at full, you just end up with practically nothing. Right, yeah, add in a bit there. As I said, that's your bass roll off, and then that's your treble. So quite interesting, and a good way of getting more than one sound out of a humbucker, and a couple of knobs. Probably quite interesting. There's one thing I can imagine probably spending quite a lot of time sitting fidgeting with and probably quite enjoying it. Even, to be honest, even though that this is my experience of pretty much a bass, what do I call it? A bass contour switch, or dial. I kind of already I'm going to build a guitar with one in it for me. First one guitar, I don't know which one, because I quite like that. It just gives you that, so you get humbucker, so it's all hum cancelling and lovely, but it sounds good clean. That's what the treble roll off does, because that's a bit too much for me. But as soon as you batter off a wee bit of that bass, it becomes a nice. Try and loop over that now. Yes, I am. So in my head, the Cure sounds something like that. Yeah, I need to look up some Cure. I'm totally ignorant of them. I should know more. Mandine. Yeah, look at that distortion. wasn't going to put the chorus on. I don't know why. Oh no, distortion on. I'll do the chorus for another 2 months for the next time I turn it on. I've really got to use a rat pedal because I use that in every video, so you can compare this to any other video I've ever done because I always use the rat pedal. What I now think has happened is I think I've actually bashed the knobs on the Washburn stack in the box, which is the distortion I was using first, and it kind of just sounds the same as the Rat now, so I need to try and turn it down a bit. The whole point of the stack in the box was going to be a less distorted than the Rat. Yeah, so I don't think this is a cheap guitar. I've not actually looked it up, I don't know how much it is, but this isn't cheap. You can kind of tell. So as far as value goes, no comment because I don't know, but it's really nice. It's a Gibson scale, so it's a 24 3/4 inch. It's got a Wilkinson try to read it upside down, WVS 52K. I mean, if you're interested in one of these guitars, you can look it up on the website, they've got it. The colour, 100% love it. If I could have found my Vantage Avenger, I would have put it up because it's really, I think you get like large flake, you know, it's like depending on how big the wee flakes of glitter are in the paint. I think the Avenger's got bigger flakes, whereas this is more a more finer one, but it's almost exactly the same tone. And that's one of my favourite guitars, partly because of the colour, and I just think it looks fantastic. I was going to sit there going maybe a white scratch plate, but no, I think it's got its thing. It's very nice. It's the neck is, I would say, quite a chunky neck. It's like trying to reference necks to things that people know. And it's like my Gibson SG, SG Special from the 90s. Not miles away from this. I'd say it's maybe a bit more C and a bit less D than the SG. Massive frets, good quality looking rosewood fingerboard. I don't really know what the dots are, sort of yellowy. It's just everything on it's just a wee bit odd and a wee bit different and exciting. I could totally say I like the headstock design. It's angled back, which is kind of unusual for this. It's sort of like the thing about designing new guitars is you've got your standards you know, your big four or whatever it is, your Telly and your Strat, your Les Paul, your 335. So because that's kind of what a guitar is, everyone has to be sort of have elements of them in it. So this has got a kind of sort of Strat headstock, although I do like the sort of extra step here. You can't really see it because it's in front of something black. Trying to put it in front of something white. I don't really have any. Incidentally, I think that I chose the right colour t-shirt by random to go with the purple. Purple and yellow is a good combo for being, I don't know, it either does clash or doesn't clash. I can't remember which way around it goes, but I like purple and yellow. I bought a guitar that was actually very much purple and yellow. But it plays absolutely lovely. Pickup seems dead good as well. And I'm totally going to go in. I'm going to look up, rather than take it to bits, because it's not my guitar. When I say take it to bits, I mean take off the back plate and have a look and see what it is, what the treble, not the treble bleed, the bass contour. It's like, see, this is me. I set myself up. So here's my list of things. I've got the guy's name because I couldn't really read it from his thingy. So that's how I knew it was 24 3/4. I'm sure if I look up the website or someone online's worked out how to do that, but I quite like the bass contour switch. It's definitely got a use for it. It's kind of, you know, coil splitty, soundy, just gives you that a bit more jangle. Oh, today's a weird day. I'm very much in a guitar playery mood today. I think it's maybe just when I've got quite a few guitars to fix up. Got a couple of customers' guitars, and I've got a couple of Buckfaster casters I've been sitting on the back burner for weeks now. Because I've got all these things to do, that's when I just feel like I could just sit and just play guitar all day and not bother doing anything. So ultimately, this gets the Mad Malco seal of approval. It's an awesome guitar. I don't know what it costs. £1,000, something like that. Not a cheapie. Locking tuners. Not a super fan of locking tuners myself. If they're on a guitar, I'm not going to take them off, but I don't know. But then again, it's like maybe I just fear modern things. You know, why I'm using a tube amp, no pedals. Or well, when I say no pedals, I mean, you know, like I'm using a distortion pedal. I'm too much of a traditionalist. But on the bass, the contour switch and the contour rolling thing, it's definitely getting bumped for something. I don't know what it's going to get bumped for, but it's getting bumped for something. I would think it's probably much more use if you've got like a humbucker. I don't know if it would be that much use for a single coil, because that's kind of what it does. It's kind of similar. I have put switches like this in before, but not on a pot. You know, just on a switch. I think a Jaguar, the Strangle switch, is a similar type of thing. It's like basically a high pass filter. But having it variable makes a big difference. Because I mean that's fully on, fine, fully off. Very jangly, but there's lots in the middle that can be messed about with. And then because you get the other one, you can really do a lot of tone shaping. So when you're sitting there thinking, oh, you've only got one humbucker, how am I going to survive only having one humbucker? That's, you know, you need 2 or 3 pickups. And it's like, well, if you've got these 2 knobs, you can kind of probably just dial in pretty much everything you would get out of a 2 humbucker guitar, or a 3 pickup guitar. No, this is lovely. Yeah, so well approved of. Rock and roll.